It is Tuesday night, which means it is once again time for the Panther Pulse here from Zapata Mexican Restaurant. Good evening, everybody. Justin Foster joined by Caleb Turrentine, and a lot of smiles here from Zapata tonight as the Pelham Panthers, fresh off of a 31-14 dominating victory over the Calera Eagles. And Caleb, I know you're probably tuned in on Friday. What were your takeaways from what ended up being kind of a breezy win for the Panthers?
Yeah, it was a little weird. I kept expecting, well, something's going to happen here. It's going to come down to the wire, and it never did. And I know that makes this guy right here pretty happy about it, and that's what he asked for all last week during our show.
Absolutely. We got a great show coming up for you tonight. We talk all things PHS Soccer. Coach Brittany Pollard joins us later, as well as Coach Patrick McDonald and several of their key players. But joining us now, Coach Mike Vickery. Coach, congratulations on the win. And, you know, from our perspective, pretty balanced game, most complete game it seemed like that our guys had played all year. What were your takeaways from an impressive win?
Yeah, really proud of our guys, and coaches had them ready to play. Defensively, made a bunch of plays when we had to. You know, they moved the football, and those guys over there are doing a great job of kind of rebuilding that program, the Calera program. And I thought they played really well, and we were able to bend not break. We gave them the football in some good situation for them, bad situation for us, and our defense was able to get off the field and in most of those situations. So, again, forced some turnovers, got some balls that were tip balls and some fortunate bounces our way, and we're able to capitalize on enough of them to kind of get that 2-3 score lead to kind of put it away.
So 6 turnovers forced by the defense. What do you attribute that to? I mean, it seemed like we were getting pressure all night on them. From your vantage point, what is the cause of us being able to force all those turnovers?
Well, one, I think anytime you can get out to a little bit of a lead, those 2-score leads, which I talk about a lot, is it forces teams to kind of become one-dimensional. And when they do that, the young quarterback who's going to be a really, really good football player, and a wideout, one of the best wideouts we've played all year, that we were kind of having to double and do some different things with, and we were just able to make him hold on to the football just a little bit longer than he wanted to. Got some great pressure on him all night, and again some balls that tip balls, some balls that kind of bounce our way at times. So that was needed that win and needed those turnovers to Calera's been playing really well, so especially offensively, and so we were very fortunate to get out of there, only giving up 14 points.
Do those 6 turnovers maybe disguise any other issues or problems that you think y'all might have had on the offensive end, or do you think that was maybe y'all's best team performance of the season?
No, I think you really hit nail on the head there. I mean, I think offensively we you kind of saw us a full game without Darius Copeland, and kind of going back to the drawing board on some things. We were able to run the football at times. Then we lost Rasin Martin halfway through that game, and so depth becomes an issue, and finding playmakers, and we needed all those turnovers because I thought offensive output, while we were solid, we weren't where we want to be. I think offensive line wise, we were solid again, but again we got to make some more plays with the ball in the air, and so I think you're exactly right. Those turnovers really. We needed all of them for sure.
So 130 rushing yards, 133 passing. I mean, how'd you feel about the balance and the running game continuing to come around?
Yeah, the running game has been. It's been our focus. And you look at from a throw standpoint. I think we were 10 of 25. So the efficiency there was not very good. We were really behind the offensively, first and second down. We were very, very poor on first down. We had a lot of second, third, and longs, and anytime you do that, you're going to struggle a little bit. And when you have to throw and everyone knows you're throwing, it becomes a little bit more difficult to throw. So I think that we were balanced by the numbers, but not very efficient, especially on early downs.
And while we're on the offense, you mentioned Darius. What was that prep like going into Friday night, trying to figure out who's going to get the ball a little bit more, where to spread out those touches? What does that look like in practice?
Well, we've moved some guys around, just played them at some different positions offensively, at the wide receiver position, and you can't replace all of his, the explosive plays, but you got to find, kind of strength in numbers, kind of next man up, and those guys have done a great job. Trey Corkle had 2 touchdown catches the other night. Kamari Hollis had some opportunities there. Got a couple pass interference called on balls that we want to see him go up and get. So those guys they're working and they're luckily, we were a little bit more advanced in the offense now that they are able to move and play some different positions without it becoming a nightmare with getting them lined up. And a kid that came in, Brock Isbell, came in and had a great catch, and then almost had a spectacular catch in the end zone that just went felt almost almost touchdown catch. So I thought he played really well.
Do want to come back to Trey Corkill, 2 touchdown grabs, including the second one, just incredible grab that it kind of iced the game a little bit. What do you attribute to his improvement? Does it kind of go back to that Briarwood play and just playing with a little more confidence? Or
yeah, Trey's a super athlete, man. He really is, and he goes into tackle football. He's a 100% effort kid on every snap, man. He's always giving great effort, and he's able to go up and play the football in the air, as well as anyone. So he's able to he went up and almost made the same catch earlier in the game, and they called they had a pass interference that they called on them, but the same play we went back to it, and he was able to go up through the guy and make the play. So very proud of him, and really all the wideouts, all the skill position guys for stepping up, making enough plays, and I know that we'll make more as we go.
And we've talked about Trey before, especially that Briarwood game where he had a drop and then the diving, game-winning touchdown catch. How much of that just comes down to confidence, individual confidence with all these guys make one play and all of a sudden they can, really do a lot of damage?
I think we have a really confident group of wide receivers. They really are, and I think, it is a position that we are very deep in, and luckily, we're able to move some pieces around. Jamal and Miles, that we'll talk to later, comes over and gives us a few reps here and there, and so we're it's a position that we're deep in. They're confident, they know they can make plays. We just got to go out there every week and do it.
You mentioned Jamal Miles, so that kind of brings me back to Braylon Farrington. Seemed like pretty effective game plan in slowing him down. He did have the big return right before the half to give Calera a chance at scoring, which they come up empty there. But what was the plan coming in on number 1?
Just giving him a bunch of different looks. We didn't want him touching it all in our kicking game. He's as dynamic a return guy as I've seen in a while. And, so you saw probably some weird kicks and balls on the ground. And, when you tell the kicker, I don't care where you kick it, just make sure number 1 doesn't get it. And, and so we did get it to him once, and you saw what he does. I mean, when he touches it, he's dynamic when he has space, and you don't want to give them a cheap score, and we almost did there. We're able to get him on the ground, but I think defensively just give him a bunch of looks. I mean, we doubled him some, we pressed him, had help over the top, and then Jamal Miles in certain situations had him one-on-one and just said, hey, our best on your best, and let's go, and Jamal did a great job with that.
And specifically on that kick return, I wanted to bring it up too because at the end of the half, that could have changed a lot of that game if they ended up putting points up. Y'all just scored thinking y'all had the momentum going to halftime. Then that kickoff return, how important was that stop?
It was huge, and just the tackle. I mean, Keyshawn Griffin made the tackle coming from all the way. He was the outside guy on the opposite side, and just a hustle play by him because Braden, he can fly, and Keyshawn took a great angle, was able to get him on the ground, knock him out of bounds, and to give us a chance to get the stop. So that's a huge play, huge momentum swing, obviously going into half with that score, getting that stop, and having a 2-score lead coming back out.
Calera gets the ball in the second half, and Ethan Hill comes up with a great interception to kind of start things off. We had the unique pleasure of calling the game from Calera's side, so we were kind of feeling the pulse of their crowd, and it felt like that was the moment it kind of took the life out of them in the Calera sideline. Do you guys feel that, and does it kind of change the aggression that you're coaching with to kind of try to put the game not quite away, but put them in a bigger hole?
Well, when you can get a couple score lead, you can be more aggressive, and when you can get the football, we talked about it as coaches after. That was the first time we had a 2-score lead with the football the entire year. So every other time we'd gotten a 2-score lead, our opponent had gone down and scored to cut that. So that was the first time we had the ball with a 2-score lead, and you can be a lot more aggressive. Obviously, you're trying to look for those opportunities to put the game away and take those shots, and so Ethan comes up big in a bunch of different situations, and he's had some big time turnovers, big time interceptions all year, and I think leads our team in interceptions, and he's in the right place at the right time, and that's what we like to see.
So you win the game by 17 points. Is that sigh of relief at the end of that? Or are you looking at it like, well, maybe we could have won by even more?
No, it's definitely. I think anytime if you saw Georgia and Missouri, anytime you can go on the road in our region, I'm not comparing it to the SEC, but it's you go on the road and win a region game. Doesn't matter if it's by a point, by 2, 3 touchdowns. Doesn't matter. You take that win, move to the next one because the next one's going to be pretty good too.
I think parity in this region's way bigger, better than the parity in the SEC right now. Just for the record, this one's more competitive. I'm just saying.
How big was this momentum-wise? I mean, what was the scene in the locker room? It seemed like both of these teams feel like this is kind of a must-win for playoff hopes.
Yeah, I mean, our kids enjoyed it. I mean, we enjoy the wins. They handle things with that business mentality. We talk about it a lot, and they are able to they go get the win, have fun with it afterwards, and then they're moving on with the short week. They know the short week's coming, and Ben Russell is a really good football team that's coming. So they had a good time with it, but they also know it's time to go back to work, and we don't take those wins for granted for sure. We want them to have fun with it. We want them to enjoy winning, and they're doing that, and then getting back to work on Monday morning ready to go.
Short week, Thursday night game against Benjamin Russell, but back to 500 with the 31-14 victory over the Clear Eagles. We will take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to several key players from the win, and coming up later, we have all things PHS Soccer. That is coming up on the Panther Pulse here from Zapata Mexican Restaurant.
Zapata Mexican Restaurant is a proud supporter of 93.3 The River. Zapata is a local, family-owned and operated business, proud to have been a part of the Pelham area for more than 20 years. They have more than 100 authentic and delicious Mexican dishes to choose from. There's something for everyone, from salads to steak fajitas to chicken fingers. They also have excellent vegetarian options and a kid-friendly menu. Zapata Mexican Restaurant, where Valleydale meets Highway 31 in Pelham.
Work is a part of all of us. We know that the world around us has changed, and that's why the Alabama Department of Labor is here to get you back to working hard. Work is a part of all of us. Let us help you get back to it by visiting your local career center or alabamaworks.alabama.gov. Funding provided by the USDOL, ETA, and Federal WIOA, and Equal Opportunity Employer Program. Auxiliary aids and services available upon request. Brought to you by this station and the Alabama Broadcasters Association.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Sponsored by LDOT, ABA, and this station.
State Farm Insurance Agent Joseph Chambers is a proud supporter of 93.3 The River and all things Pelham. Joseph and his staff can take care of your home and auto insurance needs as well as life insurance. State Farm was recently ranked #1 by J.D. Power and Associates for life insurance customer satisfaction. Joseph's office is located in the Canyon Park Office Center. His number is 205-663-3276. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Back at Zapata Mexican Restaurant as the Panther Pulse continues here. It's October, which means it's football weather, and the games continue to just add to the weight. They're bigger every single week, and the Panthers get a big one on Friday night. They take down the Clear Eagles 31-14. Joined now by several key players. Starting first, we got Markel Bell and Jake Fox representing the offense. And Jake, you start the season out on the defense. We're used to seeing you on the offensive side, and talk about sort of the role going forward with what you're going to be doing.
So starting off the season, coming into defense was a new thing for me, having to adapt to that. It was really tough at first, but I finally got a understanding for the game on the defensive side. And then going down with that injury in Helena really took a toll on me mentally. And coming back with Darius coming out, I'm going to have to pick up his shoes kind of on the offensive side.
Does that maybe motivate you, especially, after going what you went through and then seeing a teammate go down? How much motivation does that give you to perform even more?
It gives me a lot of motivation. I really want to go out there and do my best because Darius did a lot for us. I want to pick him up
What maybe lessons can you take from your time on the defensive side to take to that offensive side to maybe give you a different perspective?
Knowing coverages, knowing the drops on the safeties and the corners is going to do great things for me. I'm going to be able to know where they're going to be before they're there. I can pick up on where they're lining up. I'm going to know what they're going to do after the play, before the play. It's going to be great.
And were you able to kind of pick up anything, being sidelined with the injury? Did that give you a different perspective? And maybe, like you said, being a little more grateful to be able to come in and make the impact on the field?
For sure.
And then both of y'all on offense now, it's kind of up in the air how many touches you're going to get from week to week. How do you stay prepared for that kind of stuff?
Just staying in tune at practice, keeping the drive there, everybody set, ready, everybody getting their reps. It's just a mentality thing.
Now, Markel, you seem to gain effectiveness, seem more comfortable in this offense week to week. You had a big-time highlight on that reception against Calera. Why do you think you've increased your effectiveness running the ball and making plays out of the backfield?
Coming back to running back, everything had felt kind of new with a new quarterback at first, and with a new head coach at first and a new quarterback, and then I guess getting set, coming in behind Ross and just us working together to get the plays down, getting each other comfortable, just got me ready.
Do you think the effectiveness of the run game is just to being comfortable with that offense, or what do you really attribute that to?
We have our main goals, just falling forward, holding on to the ball, and just making sure we pick up 4 to 5 yards each play, and just after that breaking it loose. And then, as long as we keep those goals in mind, then we have a pretty good game.
Now, we talked to Coach about this. Finally had a game where it wasn't just a one-score game at the end of it. Y'all put a game away. What's that like for y'all's confidence? How does that build y'all up?
Definitely builds our confidence a lot. Being ahead the whole game, student section there for us, cheering, it does a lot for us on the field.
So speaking of the student section, they're going to be back at it this Thursday. Game against Benjamin Russell, a team a year ago, the record didn't quite match up with what we saw on the field. We kind of felt like they were close to turning the corner. They definitely have this year 5-1, some impressive wins, 48-0 over Chilton County. So they're playing their best ball. What are y'all seeing from Benjamin Russell? What can you expect in that matchup?
It's most definitely going to be a big game, big region game. We got to lock in, got to make sure, with it being a Thursday game, like it's coming earlier, everybody's having to get their mindset earlier. It's just staying in with it.
What do you do with those weeks when it's Thursday? I mean, obviously everything's accelerated. How tough is that for y'all?
We've been pretty good at adapting with it. Honestly, coaches just try to make sure that we keep in mind that it's coming earlier, so we got to prepare earlier. It's just stay with it.
What do you kind of lose in that week of preparation when you have the Thursday game?
I mean, you don't really lose much. It's just after the game Friday night, you have to get your head set on the next one. You can't be thinking about the win the whole weekend, not preparing yourself for the next game. You got to switch just like that.
What are you guys seeing from an offensive standpoint of what Ben Russell's defense is going to bring on Thursday night?
They have some pretty good linebackers. They play really aggressive, so we got to make sure we match their intensity. D-line's pretty straight. They're a pretty big team. They brought back a lot of their seniors, so we know they're all experienced. We've just all been looking at that.
And now this game can go a long way with the playoff picture. Obviously, teams have already started to clinch a playoff spot, but a region title is also still possible for y'all. Is this something y'all talk about at all, or y'all just going one game at a time still?
That's still the main goal.
Yeah.
Still the main focus.
Well, there you have it, plain and simple. Well, let's talk to a couple of the defensive guys who had a field day against the Eagles on Friday, 5 interceptions. We welcome in now Jamal Miles, Corey Perkins. Gentlemen, welcome. How we doing tonight?
We're doing good.
Corey, I'll start with you. You guys had a field day against that Calera offense. Why do you think we were able to have so much success with the interceptions in particular?
We're just playing our best in the back end. Communicating, talking, make sure we're talking on the back end, and just all around leadership. With some 2 veterans that played last year, and making sure that newcomers they're ready to play every night on Friday, and just playing our hardest and just go out there and play.
Yeah, obviously any turnover's got to feel good, but those in the second half, and you can start to see that other crowd and other team kind of start to deflate. What's that feeling like?
It's good. You know, you just get them out the game.
Yeah, it feels good.
So I kind of noticed a couple of Calera's players. There was some frustration mounting on the offensive side. You could see it in their body language. Did you guys pick up on that and maybe feed off of it to get a couple of those interceptions?
Definitely. We saw the players arguing with each other and getting down on themselves. They're not getting the ball, so arguing with the quarterback, telling them to throw it to me and stuff like that. So as a DB, you can read that kind of stuff. And the quarterback also tells you that stuff when he looks at the receivers before the play, or the receivers, their wide receiver number 1 is mad because he's not getting enough touches. I mean, you could just play the ball off of that.
So you were seeing the same stuff we were seeing.
Confidence sky high over here right now. When it comes to playing against a guy like Braylon Farrington, I mean, obviously he's got the speed. No matter what frustration he's getting, you got to know where he's at every play. What was that like playing against him, trying to keep track of where he's at?
It's frustrating a lot because we got to communicate on the back end to let each other know where to go and where to line up at and what's the best coverages to play against him. So,
yeah, he's a really fast guy. You got to know where he's at on the field and make sure you always lock eyes on receivers, know where their routes are before you, stare at the quarterback. So as long as we had Braylon under control, I wasn't worried about nobody else.
What was y'all's thoughts on that kickoff return that he almost took? Did y'all think anyone was going to catch him?
I was looking at him. I was the one on the 30-yard line that missed that tackle. I got up and I was like, yeah, he is very fast. So I don't know.
He does not lack for speed. That's for certain.
Someone got him. That's what mattered.
Now, Benjamin Russell a year ago, their quarterback particularly impressed me. He had the size. He kind of seemed close to turning the corner. What are you guys seeing from their offense this year that's allowed them to have so much success?
They're a very electrifying offense. They are a pass-first team, RPO team. So if we can shut down their deep ball because they love the vertical ball and they love the bubble screens, if we can make them one-dimensional, I think it'll be a great game on Friday.
Also, the quarterback also scrambles a lot, and we have to contain him from if he breaks loose and he tries to run it, and just contain. And yeah.
Is it tough to stay disciplined like that into your own assignment when there's so many different things an offense can do?
Yeah, it is sometimes.
It's tough, but you have to have in the back of your mind that you play your part and you got to trust your brother on the other end that he's going to play his part. And so we work as a one-oiled machine in the back end, so you got to trust each other.
Defense looked locked in against Calera. Hopefully we carry that on into this one. Do want to ask you about crowds on a Thursday versus a Friday. You know, from the press box, kind of seems like folks are a little later coming in. What do you want to say to the fans? Hey, it's a big game. It's a Thursday night. We're going to need them out there. What is y'all's vantage point from the field?
Big game. Everybody show out and support. We gonna show out. So yeah.
You can still get out there early on a Thursday. I used to do it all the time. It's fine.
Well, you were a letterman. You're on the field as well.
Right.
So
I had to be up there like 4 o'clock. So.
Yeah.
Where is y'all's head? You know, like Caleb said, everything's out in front of us. I mean, huge games, huge matchups to come. Where is y'all's mindset as, you know, the meat of the schedule still right here in front of us?
Just play one game at a time and focus on the next person that's coming up, and watch a lot of film and focus on what we got to do, our job. So.
Yeah, just take it one game at a time. Don't look later down the road, because if you worry about one particular game, then that particular game you're playing that Friday, you worry about the next game, you'll lose that Friday. So you just got to take it one game at a time.
Especially in this region, a lot of parity. Gentlemen, thanks very much. Again, Jamal Miles, Corey Perkins, Markel Bell, and Jake Fox. You can catch them on Thursday night against Benjamin Russell. We will take a quick break here from Zapata. When we come back, we switch gears to PHS Soccer. Coach Brittany Pollard is here with several of her players. That is coming up right after the break here on the Panther Pulse on 93.3 The River.
You can now do more without it costing you more. Alabama's attractions have come together to offer the all-in-one ticket that downloads to your mobile device. No matter how many attractions listed on the ticket you see during the time span you bought, your price stays the same. Pick the right ticket option that best fits your schedule, and then enjoy more attractions without spending more. All-in-one tickets for different areas of Alabama are available at alabama.travel and other places where online tickets are sold. Brought to you by Alabama Tourism Department, the ABA, and this station.
State Farm Insurance Agent Joseph Chambers is a proud supporter of 93.3 The River and all things Pelham. Joseph and his staff can take care of your home and auto insurance needs as well as life insurance. State Farm was recently ranked #1 by J.D. Power and Associates for life insurance customer satisfaction. Joseph's office is located in the Canyon Park Office Center. His number is 205-663-3276. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Work is a part of all of us. Working drives us to push beyond what we thought was imaginable and allows us to come together again for the things that really matter. That's why the Alabama Department of Labor and the Alabama Career Center system is here to help you discover bigger opportunities than ever before. Visit your local career center or alabamaworks.alabama.gov. Funding provided by the USDOL, PTA, and Federal WIOA, an Equal Opportunity Employer Program. Auxiliary aids and services available upon request. Brought to you by this station and the Alabama Broadcasters Association.
Zapata Mexican Restaurant is a proud supporter of 93.3 The River. Zapata is a local, family-owned and operated business, proud to have been a part of the Pelham area for more than 20 years. They have more than 100 authentic and delicious Mexican dishes to choose from. There's something for everyone, from salads to steak fajitas to chicken fingers. They also have excellent vegetarian options and a kid-friendly menu. Zapata Mexican Restaurant, where Valleydale meets Highway 31 in Pelham.
Back here at Zapata as the Panther Pulse continues, a little bit of a shuffle here in the schedule as Coach Patrick McDonald and boys soccer with us. Imagine this for people in this local area. We have one of our guests stopped at a train, so stop me if you've heard that. So, guys, welcome in. How we doing tonight, Coach?
Doing well.
Doing good.
Just always ready to talk about some Pelham soccer.
Absolutely.
I'm always ready to talk about some soccer.
So we also have Alejandro and Eusebio Hernandez with us, as well as Kevin Garcia, key players. But we'll start with Coach and just overall thoughts on this group, how things are shaping up for this season.
It's going to be a phenomenal year. You know, they've been killing it since they were 7th graders at Pelham Park, and they're now seniors. They've as sophomores they were Final Four. All the way. And then as juniors, they made it to the championship game as a runner-up. So, it's progression every single year, and now they're seniors, and, their eye is on the prize, and they're working really hard. A lot of them are playing competitive soccer right now. And then, we're working out during the 7th period and using that time wisely, and can't really talk too much about just one individual, just because they're all as a unit. They work so hard, and that common goal together usually is what makes it work for Pelham soccer.
So the dramatics and obviously frustrations that come with last year's finish, is that something you can hold on to going into this year as motivation, or do you just want to kind of wipe it away?
I would say wipe it away, because it's an entirely different concept of it's some returning players, and they have that experience, but half the team will be replaced. And you're talking about the other half of the team never having experience of maybe even playing a varsity minute. So, every year that first month of this season is always a retooling of, hey, here's our strength from last year, but it might be different the next year, because you have such a big influx of new talent. And it's just understanding how this team's going to play together.
Do you worry at all about – I think about this in like NBA or in the NFL of a team that has a lot of success and gets the playoffs and has success there. Do you worry about focus in the regular season of trying to keep guys locked in, because they know, hey, the ultimate goal here is to, get that championship? Do you worry at all about that and, keeping guys focused throughout the season?
I think their focus is at the postseason, but you're not going to make the postseason if you don't take care of business in your area games. Our area over the past 2 years was extremely difficult. In fact, it came down for us. We haven't lost an area game in 3 years. But what it comes down to is the other team's buy-in, where if they beat us, then potentially they're in the playoffs. The other team's up in the stands, not really cheering for us, but they would be happy with us winning, because that puts them in the playoffs. That's happened the last 2 years. Now you're talking about our area completely changing with Briarwood coming in, which is a phenomenal soccer program. And then Indian Springs, which has won 2 state titles in 5A, coming up here. So you're talking about an Elite 8 team. You're talking about a perennial soccer power that has a state title in the last 10 years. You're talking about back-to-back state champion winners in 5A. And us, which we've been to the Final Four 6 of the last 7 years with a state title, with a red map and a blue map. So toughest area, bar none, in all classifications of soccer.
So I don't want to just completely hijack this conversation from Justin, but I want to talk actual soccer and tactics. What are y'all going to look like this year, and how, if any, is it going to change based off your personnel?
Okay, well, hey, I'm going to defer to the boys here because we work as a unit, okay? This is not a me show, it's a us show. And they're the ones doing the job. We talk a lot in, training sessions, but at the same time, they're the ones that actually implement and put it into play. So I'm not going to talk for them. I'm going to let them say something, so take it away.
All right, so we all just work as a team. Like, it's like a family. Like, we all play club, but we're all separated by that time. But we all know each other. Since we were, 7th graders, we all know each other very well. We either play as a defensive team or an attacking team. We all attack, we all defend together. No laziness. We do it with a lot of effort to, every single game, even if the team's bad or good, we put in all that effort and play like it's the final game of our lives. What do you think?
Yep, I think that's just how every game's going to be played. Last year we played a very possession-based game. So we like to keep the ball. We like to build out from the back and go straight to the goal, make them forward runs, make outside runs, and I'll just control the game in general with, our chemistry. Our tactics is if one player, is not doing their job right, the whole system won't work. We have to play together as one team, a whole unit, and just keep that ball and just keep going at them.
So I know that can be a little bit more free-flowing, in formation-wise, but what kind of positions do we all play, just so we can get each of y'all here?
We play a 4-2-3-1, or sometimes we just a 3-4-3, right? One time there was a time, but we're very patient with the ball. We just keep it on our feet, we possess it, get the team tired, and we just punish them right after.
Yeah, well, we have also, when we play our 4-3-3, we have our overlapping outside backs, as well as we have our 6 or our CDM and our 2 center backs stay back and just control that middle. And let's not let any counterattacks happen, and then we just add more numbers up. The more numbers that we have up, the better it'll be, because if you have 8 on 5 just against our whole back line, we have more options, and just we can go here to go there to go, and we can just take it from there.
You have no idea how much I'm enjoying this, Justin. I'm so sorry.
I'm enjoying it too. I just, I get to kind of observe and listen. Coach talked about it a little bit. When y'all look at this shifting region and knowing that, or area, excuse me, you get thrown off talking about football. The shifting area and these new teams coming in that are going to look at y'all with kind of a target on your back and say, hey, we want to win this area. How does that motivate you guys?
Well, for me, I just feel like, we've been on top these past years. So I just want to stay there. I don't want some team to be like, hey, move out the way, it's our time. I want to stay there, be as strong as we were and just get stronger as well.
Yeah, it gives us a new challenge, basically. Who doesn't want to beat us? We're a really good team for the past 6-7 years. I'm pretty sure every team would want to compete against us, and we'll give them everything we got.
And we're talking about, obviously, a sport that has grown in popularity. I mean, y'all were talking, we played against each other since 7th grade, and the sport has grown so much just in that time. What has that been like for y'all, who has already been into it for so many years, but to see other growth and maybe other programs get built up and obviously your own continued success?
Well, yeah, a lot of programs are starting to grow up as well. We got clubs starting to bring out new talents as well as new academies, and it's just more options for us as well, because back then we used to just have the state leagues, state league clubs, and it's kind of higher division teams, but not too high, and now that the game's just grown so much more popular, we have more options of where else to play and where to hone our talents.
He said it all.
Well, I got to ask, speaking of the popularity, sometimes I think we could get more support from the students and student body to come out, fill up that student section. What is y'all's kind of message to them to come on out and support the way they do for a football game?
Well, in my opinion, I think soccer, respectively for other sports, I think soccer is the most accomplished sport we have, especially because we've been to the Final Four for the past 6-7 years. And I really want to send out a message to the students to come support us like we support them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we won't fail them in any game. Every single game they want to come watch us play, we'll bring out everything. And just like the past years, we'll just keep that winning record. We'll show out, just have fun as well, and just show all the other teams what we got.
And this, I could open this to any of y'all, but obviously every single time a World Cup year comes around, you see some excitement get picked up a little bit here. The World Cup happens between now and the start of y'all season. Do you expect that to build some excitement within the school?
Of course.
Yeah. Like, do y'all have any plans, watch party plans?
Oh, yeah, of course. We have the weekends and then the Thanksgiving week. Or we have a break, man. It's gonna be really exciting to watch just a whole bunch of soccer.
Like, who isn't excited? It comes once every 4 years.
Exactly.
Well, before we go, I got to ask, I know Coach has done a great job of getting y'all's field house top notch, and he's told me about the TV and that, y'all got the FIFA down there. Who is the king of FIFA? Are y'all ready to? Oh, the uniforms goes without saying. Y'all are always decked out.
Yeah.
But I got to know, who's the best FIFA player on the team?
Well, since all the seniors left last year, it's got to be me.
Okay.
I'm not really a gamer, so I would basically just say my brother since I see him most of the time.
No. I'm not really a gamer either, but I play FIFA. It's like fun. I enjoy it. It's like, who doesn't love FIFA? Come on, like, it's the best EA Sports in history. So
it's always been a little frustrating for me. That's when I know I play it a little too much.
I'm not as good as I'm better on 2K. So yeah, college football is coming soon. So y'all may, y'all graduate before that comes back. But future group's going to be playing on that one.
I'll still be playing FIFA. Don't worry about that.
Well, good luck to you guys this season. Looking forward to the season and appreciate you coming tonight.
Thank you.
When we return, we will talk to Coach Pollard and the girls' soccer standouts that is coming right up from Zapata. We will take a quick break and return on the Panther Pulse on 93.3 The River.
The Army National Guard is committed to keeping the country safe and our communities secure. Composed of hundreds of thousands of citizen soldiers from all walks of life, the Guard is always ready to respond to local or national emergencies. We protect the homeland. We're always there when called upon, and in every state and territory, we stand guard for our communities. To learn more, log on to NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
The skills you can develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your skills in science, technology, engineering, and math that can help give you a leg up to a high-paying and rewarding STEM profession. Get a head start on your career while earning money to pay for college. Log on to NationalGuard.com to learn about all of the STEM career opportunities in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
State Farm Insurance Agent Joseph Chambers is a proud supporter of 93.3 The River and all things Pelham. Joseph and his staff can take care of your home and auto insurance needs as well as life insurance. State Farm was recently ranked #1 by J.D. Power and Associates for life insurance customer satisfaction. Joseph's office is located in the Canyon Park Office Center. His number is 205-663-3276. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Right now, it's a great time for anybody ready to get some real work done in Alabama. Whether you're somebody who needs to hire, somebody who wants to get hired, or a student who wants to know how to prepare to get hired, there's a new unified force for your success and a brighter future. It's time to get to work, Alabama. Alabama works.
Sponsored by Alabama Works, the ABA, and this station. Visit alabamaworks.com.
Back here at Zapata Mexican Restaurant as the Panther Pulse continues along. We continue all things PHS Soccer with Coach Brittany Pollard and several of her standout players. We start first with Coach. How you doing tonight?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
Doing great. Great to have you with us. And we'll start first just kind of how the offseason has been and, still a ways to go before the season, but what's the outlook right now?
Well, we're going to be a very young team this year. We're replacing 13 off the varsity squad, so we're returning 9 varsity starters or players for that matter, not even starters. So we've had a lot of the young kids step up and really lead our team in the right direction. So we're looking forward to getting to January and seeing what we can do.
What's an offseason look like when you are replacing so much talent? How much do you really try to get them to work when it's not in season?
Well, luckily, a lot of them play club, so they're playing soccer on their own or they're playing on the weekends, so they're still touching a ball. We have 2 days of fitness and 2 days of fun during our off season per se. And as it gets closer to January and whatnot, we can really start to hike up what we're doing and get the girls really to buy in.
And I wanted to ask the guys about this, but I will ask you, how does the club environment influence the school, and what does that do as far as development?
It's a perfect opportunity for them to touch a ball in the off season. So like high school, is only from January to May. So for some girls, if they don't play club, they're ending our season in April or May, and they're not touching a ball again until January. So they're losing off on what they gained in our high school season. So it's very vital to success for players, and then it obviously comes back and helps us as well.
How much that interest outside of high school, completely, not just club ball, but even maybe watching the game, keeping up with the game, going, to other kind of events. I mean, we've got a Legion shirt on right here. How important is that kind of interest outside of just the high school field?
I think it's vitally important. The more you're around the game, the more you grow to love it, and the more you grow to learn about it, and the more you can touch the ball and get your feet dirty, per se, to just dig down deep.
How do your expectations change when you have such a young team? Obviously, success a year ago, into the playoffs, get a couple of wins, fall to Northridge, but how does that kind of change? Do you have to reset it and reconfigure your own expectations?
No, I think we've set an expectation from years past that the young kids have enjoyed being a part of. I mean, who doesn't want to make the playoffs and try to make a deep run? So I think the girls that we have returning are fantastic leaders for us, and the girls that we're bringing up, we're a part of that as well. Maybe not the whole season, but they got to experience it a little bit. So I really think the fight in these girls will be something to keep an eye on.
And I do want to get that player perspective. Dulce Acosta's earlier, she's shaking her head no. It doesn't change any expectation. From your vantage point, how do you prepare and have your expectations coming in with a young team?
Well, Pollard's always kept her expectations high for us, so lowering those expectations, it would change a lot, and we wouldn't have to work as hard. So keeping the expectations high would make us work a lot harder, and we could get a lot farther with that.
So now we talked about y'all losing a lot of personnel. Does that change anything tactically? You trying to keep the same system going with the returning players?
I have no clue. I guess we'll find out in January.
Can't give away any secrets to opposing coaches. That's what it's.
No, I'd be honest.
I'm trying to help out.
Yeah, I don't have. I really don't. I really can't answer that question. What we have returning is great. What we're bringing in is great, but that doesn't necessarily mean that fits what we were successful doing last year.
Right.
So does the playoff experience, you kind of throw a lot of that out of the window, knowing you've lost all these players? What does it do for the young ones who did get a taste of that and in preparing and just experiencing that?
Getting a taste of it is something I don't think they'll ever forget. Now, if things go opposite of what we expect for this year, then I think they've had that taste and they're going to want to get that back. So regardless of this year, I think that taste will always be there and they're going to want to be back on top.
And how does the shift in area affect y'all? We heard about the boys programs that it matched up with, obviously going to be the same teams, correct?
Yeah, it's going to be miserable. I will be completely honest. Indian Springs comes in as the defending state champs and 4A, 5A girls. Helena's pretty much loaded. They lost a couple key players, but they bring back everybody else. And I don't know much about Briarwood other than they're always a solid team, and they always give us a run regardless of who we have on the field. So
can that be motivating to be in a region like that?
Yeah, I think we can play the spoiler. I think that's kind of going to be our mentality moving forward. Just spoilers in general. There's everybody out there. You may not make the playoffs, but you can spoil who gets to go. So why not take that role and see where it gets us?
You've done a great job of building up the program and, raising those expectations year to year. How do you continue to do that, and maybe bring in some different athletes that might not consider soccer?
Well, we need a goalie, so if anybody's listening and you want to come be the goalkeeper, we'll gladly accept anyone at this point. But no, I think the girls have a great bond together, and they really do enjoy each other. They're girls, so at times they want to break from everyone. But, we're just going to have to see what happens this year. We got a lot of new faces, and I'm excited to see what fight this group has in them.
and you don't have seniors here tonight, which is unusual. So what can you say about these two players and what they've meant to the program?
Well, there's a reason they're here. They've stepped up this year as a sophomore and a junior, and they've led us in athletics. They've led everything that we've asked them to do, and they're the true definition of being a leader. So I think if our younger kids look up to that, it just helps us, for next year as well. So.
Well, let's hear from them. Valerie Jamison and Dulce Acosta with us. Again, what's it mean to you guys to be here not as seniors and representing your team?
Well, I mean, it's really different compared to last year because we had such a large senior class. And so now we only have like 6 upperclassmen, 6 or 7 total. And I'm one of those, and I'm not even a senior. So it's weird to kind of be the leaders of the team this year, more so.
What do you do early on in the season, like the off season, to try to make it easier once the games roll around that you are there as the leader and you're looked at?
Well, off season is like a great chance for us to get to know each other as teammates, and so when we get to season, we're more comfortable with each other. We're able to play with each other because we know each other, and so whether we're doing drills or just scrimmaging and having fun, it's just fun. So we like to play with each other.
What do you look at this year to kind of build on as non-seniors for the future? Because you still got seasons to come, couple seasons to come. Outside of just winning, what are some of your goals as program building?
Trying to communicate with each other and understand how each player plays, and trying to match the intensity that we've had the years before, and just try to teach younger players that are coming in or look up to older players and see how they do stuff. I think we could all learn from each other, and as a way to improve.
We talked about, y'all mentioned your positions before you came on air. We have a forward and a defender here. But how tight are y'all to those positions? Obviously, that stuff can change, especially when so much is in the air. Do y'all want to move around? Do you like where you're at?
I typically play striker, and I really love that position. So I don't like moving, but club, I've experienced different positions like holding mid and attacking mid. So I'm flexible enough to move around. So if I'm needed elsewhere, I can play elsewhere.
Good answer for Coach.
Well, for me, there's a lot of defenders coming in, so you never know if your position could change if she wants you somewhere else. So you just have to adapt to that position and try to learn quickly. So basically you just have to look at Coach for answers and let her lead you through the way, and just trust that she knows what she's doing. I hope so. And yeah.
So were there any, the big senior group that was gone, did y'all have any leaders that y'all kind of looked up to and model what you're doing after?
Yes, for sure. I know for defense, Alyssa was a really big leader I was looked up for. She was also very loud on the field, so you couldn't miss her when you're playing with her. And she was very good at telling you what you need to improve. And so she will be a loud voice that will be missed for sure.
Yeah, I'd agree too. Alyssa Wynn was upperclassman that everyone looked up to. She would give you, she would say it's, I'm not mad at you, it's just tough love. Which was really true, because at times whenever she screamed at us, we would get mad at each other on the field, but once the game was over, practice was over, you could see what she told you is something you could have improved from. So on the back line, when I was with her, I would listen to her and I would be like, okay, I got you. And I would just listen to whatever she told me, because I knew she's been playing longer than me on varsity, and so she knows a lot more than I do.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, we mentioned this to the guys group too, but obviously growing excitement in the sport as a whole. Over the next 10 months, we have 2 World Cups. I mean, it's not just the men's in November. The women's World Cup is coming up next August. Is there some extra excitement this year, and maybe trying to get more people to come out to games?
I mean, I would say so. We've been very successful in the last 2 years, and I will say girls soccer is one of the more unrecognized sports at our school, and we've been very successful. So I love it when we have more people at our games.
Yeah, I think having people in the stands cheering on for their school's girls soccer team would add more intensity into the sport, and think we'd get more excited on the field too, seeing that we have supporters up in the bleachers rooting for us. And it's just something you can look at during the game, but also while you're concentrating, that you see that people are up there cheering for you.
Got to get that student section to come
out. I want
and
to see a
represent.
student section come out and start singing songs and stuff like that. That's what I want, nonstop.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks for joining us. Looking forward to seeing you guys lead as non-seniors. Coming up, we will wrap things up here on a fantastic show here from Zapata. We talk all things Benjamin Russell, a Thursday game yet again. That is coming up right after this from Zapata Mexican Restaurant. You're listening to the Panther Pulse on 93.3 The River.
Zapata Mexican Restaurant is a proud supporter of 93.3 The River. Zapata is a local, family-owned and operated business, proud to have been a part of the Pelham area for more than 20 years. They have more than 100 authentic and delicious Mexican dishes to choose from. There's something for everyone, from salads to steak fajitas to chicken fingers. They also have excellent vegetarian options and a kid-friendly menu. Zapata Mexican Restaurant, where Valleydale meets Highway 31 in Pelham.
Coach Nick Saban.
Helping children is very important to Miss Terry and me. As parents, it saddens us to know that there are more than 5,000 children in foster care in Alabama. These children need loving, nurturing families to care for them. We ask you to join the team and become champions for children by opening your heart, opening your home, and becoming a foster or adoptive parent.
For more information, call 1-866-4AL-KIDS. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Human Resources, Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
If you're experiencing a temporary financial hardship and are struggling to pay your mortgage, we may be able to help you keep your home. Hardest Hit Alabama is a federally funded foreclosure prevention program. If you qualify, Hardest Hit Alabama can pay your mortgage payments on your behalf or provide other forms of assistance. We've helped thousands of Alabama homeowners, and we may be able to help you. Visit hardesthitalabama.com to learn more. Brought to you by Hardest Hit Alabama, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
State Farm Insurance Agent Joseph Chambers is a proud supporter of 93.3 The River and all things Pelham. Joseph and his staff can take care of your home and auto insurance needs as well as life insurance. State Farm was recently ranked #1 by J.D. Power and Associates for life insurance customer satisfaction. Joseph's office is located in the Canyon Park Office Center. His number is 205-663-3276. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Been a great show here from Zapata, and we wrap things up now to talk about Thursday's matchup against Benjamin Russell. We welcome in Coach Vick yet again, and Coach, Benjamin Russell's had a great turnaround a year ago. Like I said earlier, we play him in a game that was too close for comfort. They certainly looked better than the 3-7 record they ended up with. What do you attribute to the turnaround? I know they have a new coach as well, but what are you seeing from Benjamin Russell?
Yeah, Smitty Grider's been around a long time. He's a well-known coach in our state and does a great job. And he just brings a different, positive mindset. Just he's always, a high energy kind of guy. They throw it around. They have fun with it, and he's hired some really good coaches there with him, and some guys who have been head coaches. And you get a kind of a fresh start with some of the kids that were there, and they're playing really well right now.
Yeah, that 48-0 win last week's obviously big, especially, with everyone thinking Chilton County how improved they are this year, and then them Benjamin Russell going and doing that, obviously impressive. Do you kind of maybe like that, seeing that from a team, seeing a team's best on film maybe prepares you a little bit better going into the week?
I'd really rather not, be a 35-point favorite or something, I think. But no, they are everyone's going to be competitive right now in 6A, and you're even seeing in 7A. I mean, you're seeing there's a lot of 3-3 really good football teams in 7A in this area, and there's a lot of parity in high school football this year, and as y'all have said multiple times, and for them, they're coming off of a season which they felt was a disappointing season, but all the same players are back. They bring a ton of experience back with a really good quarterback and really good skill guys. So they're playing good football right now, and I think a lot of that is just a change in mindset.
How was the identity of the team change? I mean, you're not able to speak on last year's team per se, but what are they looking like on film? What do you see from them, from an X's and O's standpoint?
Yeah, they're just really explosive. I mean, the quarterback is a really, really good football player. He's a big kid who is hard to tackle, and he kind of keeps his eyes downfield. When you're breaking those kind of guys down, really good quarterbacks. Kid from Briarwood, same way. When you don't get him down the first time, he doesn't pull it down and run. His eyes are still downfield. He's looking to make a big play down the field, and that's a little scary because you get sucked in, get your eyes in the backfield, and all of a sudden there's somebody, 40 yards, 50 yards downfield that gets behind you, and he's able to make those throws. So, they're very, very explosive on offense, and I think probably the best defensive team that we've played. They're playing really good defense. Right now, they have a lot of guys playing both ways, so that's always challenging how that will hold up. But they're just not a lot of holes offensively or defensively in what they're doing.
And all year you've talked about putting that focus on forcing teams to drive. Is that even more important this week with them being so explosive on offense?
100%. I mean, you have to try to get them behind the chains, just like every week. You got to get to the quarterback, affect the quarterback. We were able to do that last week. We didn't do as good a job with that the week before, but we got to get to him, got to hit him, and make him uncomfortable, and then again not give up the big play. Make them continue to drive, make them continue to, make a tough third down conversion, fourth down conversions, and try to get the ball back on offense.
We weren't able to really talk to you about this with Briarwood because the game shifted to the Thursday after we were on the show. But what is kind of different from a coaching standpoint about the preparation for a Thursday game? What do you lose maybe in that preparation? What do you have to squeeze into a shorter window?
Well, depends on when, kind of how everything falls. Right now we're coming off of 4 straight, tough football games. So, the kids have got to rest. I mean, they have to get, you just can't come in and practice for 3 hours on Sunday to try to make up for it. I mean, the kids have to rest. They have to get their bodies back. And, it's not a huge difference. I'm not a big fan of Thursday night games, more so from a crowd. I heard you mention that earlier. It's just the atmosphere is always different on Thursday, no matter how you want to spin it. It's just different than a Friday night. But, but from a preparation standpoint, we do the same thing as coaches. We watch all our film, get everything done on Friday night after the game and Saturday mornings, and then on Sundays we're focused on Saturday afternoon, Sundays we're focused on the next opponent. And so we come in Monday morning and get right to work. And the only difference is we'll do a little bit more on a Wednesday than we typically would do on a Thursday. We have to squeeze a little bit more into that Wednesday practice than more of a walkthrough type situation on a Thursday. But so that's really the only difference.
And with that Thursday game, the crowd, Benjamin Russell, it's obviously a big game, region standings, but when you look at history, there's not a lot there. That name probably doesn't stand out to a lot of people, maybe just in the city as casual going to a high school football game. What can you speak to that about the importance of this game moving forward in the playoff picture and even region title chase?
Yeah, definitely. One little different this year than in years past, normal Thursday night games, is we don't have school on Friday. So, a lot of times on Thursdays, you miss a lot of the elementary school kids and their parents and some of the younger population who bring their parents with them to games where they have school the next day, right? So there's no school the next day. So, we're hoping that everybody will get out and see a really good, just a couple weeks ago, Ben Russell was in the top 10 in the state in the Sports Writer poll. Got beat by Homewood. Homewood's a really good football team, and it was a really good game there. So they're right on the cusp of that being a top 10 team. So we've got to go out and play really good football, and we hope everybody will come out to watch it.
We talked about them, but from our vantage point, what are areas we need to continue to improve to have success on Thursday?
Yeah, just being consistent. I mean, consistent offensively. We're still having too many possessions in which we're not getting ourselves into scoring position, and we've got to be able to run the football a little bit more consistently to control the clock. And then special teams, we haven't been great, and we got to continue to work there, special team wise. Defensively, we did a much better job on third down, getting off the field this past week, but it's still a challenge. We're still giving up too many third down conversions, especially third and long conversions. So we have a ton to work on, a ton to get better at, and I don't think we've put that complete game together yet, but hopefully it's coming.
Now, depending on how things shake out this week, but theoretically, y'all could wake up on Saturday morning and have a playoff spot clinched. Is that something you're talking about, or is it too early for that when you have to look to other results for that to happen?
Well, I don't think it's ever too early. I mean, we always have to look because you're always looking to see, there'll be some teams there probably on Thursday night to to watch us that are playoff teams, because they know, one or both of us will be in the playoffs. And so you're always having to look down the road a little bit to people that you may have a opportunity to see. For us, I say it all the time, from a 7-team region standpoint, that magic number is three region wins. If you get 3 region wins, you're going to get in. 95, unless there's just a 5-way 3-way tie. A 5-way 3-game tie. That's the magic number. And we're sitting at 2. They're sitting at 2. So it's you got to get that 3rd win, and once you get it, you feel pretty good about your chances of being in.
And is obviously a region title is still a possibility for y'all. Maybe not completely in control. Tiebreakers could come into play there. But is that still something y'all talk about?
It's our only goal. Only goal from a stated goal from winning is region title. So we know we kind of quote unquote control our own destiny. If we win out, we at least share that region title, and it depending on what happens with the other groups. Depends on what that tiebreaker comes down to. So we know if we can win out in our region that we'll be in a pretty good spot.
Well, Caleb informed me that it is Taco Day today.
National Taco Day?
National
is
Taco
that a thing that
Day.
happened?
So we got to ask you the all-important question. What is your Zapata order? Is it we going with the tacos, quesadilla, fajitas?
Always fajitas.
Always fajitas.
Always fajitas, yes.
I don't know.
You didn't even have to list things. He was already ready.
I'm with you. I'm seeing Jamal Miles over here rubbing out on.
I'm about to go eat some of it.
I think it's dinner time. And with that, we are out of time here from Zapata. Thanks again to Coach and all of our guests, PHS Soccer Coach McDonald, Coach Pollard, all of their players, as well as the football players. That will do it, and hope to have you guys in the stadium at Ned Bearden Stadium on Thursday night. That is against Benjamin Russell, big-time region matchup. So hope you're there. If you can't make it, you can listen to all the action right here on 93.3 The River. We will be on just before that 7 p.m. kick. For Caleb Turrentine, for Braden George, our engineer, I am Justin Foster. Good night from Zapata, and as always, go Panthers.